Hello students, today we learn about elements in the periodic table. Periodic table is a table in which we know about elements, the name of the elements, symbol of the elements, atomic number and atomic mass of the element. In this table, in every element, on the right side, name of the element is given. For example, for Hg, helium is the element, so is on the right side, name of the element is written. On the below, atomic mass means mass of the element, mass of the one atom of an element is the atomic mass. Then on the left hand side, symbol of element is given, and on the upper side, atomic number. Atomic number means we will discuss about atomic number later. In this way, all the elements which are we found is given in this periodic table. And we know already who introduced periodic table. This is the modern periodic table, which is given by Henry Moseley. About it we have already discussed in first chapter, Introduction to Chemistry. Some common elements in universe. Hydrogen and helium are the two most common elements. Means in the universe, hydrogen and helium we get, that is in commonly we get. Then earth crust, oxygen is the greatest amount. Oxygen, in maximum amount of oxygen is found in the earth's crust. Then silicon, the amount of silicon is more, but oxygen is the greatest. Then aluminum, then iron. Atmosphere, we know in atmosphere there are different types of gases in the atmosphere. Out of those gases, nitrogen is the most abundant element. That means the amount of nitrogen in the atmosphere is more. In human body, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen are the most common elements, because our body is made up of cells, and these cells are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So in this way, elements is finished. Then next is compound. We know pure substances are divided into two parts, in two types, elements and compounds. So compounds are pure substances when two or more elements combine chemically together in a fixed proportion by weight, they form a compound. Means the compound formed by two or more elements, and these two or more elements combine chemically in a fixed proportion by weight. The weight of the element is fixed at every time, and they chemically together by chemical process, by chemically combine, and they form a compound. Some compounds which we use in our daily life are given. Some examples of compounds are given. First one, salt. Salt is a compound which is formed when sodium element chemically combines with chlorine element. Sodium element This is the sodium element Na, and chlorine element. This one is the chlorine element. When sodium and chlorine combine chemically, then salt is formed. Sodium is found in the solid form and chlorine is a gas. But the salt which is formed by the chemical combination of sodium and chlorine, that is a solid. Salt which we use, that is in the solid form. The salt is in the solid form. Next, water. Water is a compound, means it is also a pure substance formed by the chemical combination of hydrogen and oxygen elements. In water, hydrogen and oxygen elements are chemically combined together in a fixed proportion by weight. And hydrogen is also a gas and oxygen is also a gas. But the water is a liquid. Sugar. Sugar is a compound which is formed by chemical combination of hydrogen, oxygen and carbon elements. Out of these elements, hydrogen and oxygen are gases, while carbon is a solid. And the compound which is formed from hydrogen, oxygen and carbon by chemical combination, that is a solid, that is in solid form, that is sugar. From this data, what we get, that the compounds, the properties of compounds are completely different from the properties of elements. Elements in water, elements are hydrogen and oxygen. They are in the gaseous form, but water is in liquid form. The property is different. So in a compound, the original properties of the elements are changed. Characteristics of compounds. First one, a compound is a pure substance. Next, a compound has some same composition and same properties. A compound always have same composition, that means always they have same elements. They are formed by the same elements. And and they have same properties. When a compound, third one, a compound has distinct properties as the original components lose their individual properties. Original components that are it's in the element form, means in element. From which elements we get, that is in different state, maybe in solid, in liquid, in gaseous form, but the compound is totally different. So a compound has distinct properties, and the components, original components of the compound lose their individual properties when they are chemically together in a fixed proportion. Next, elements in a compound cannot be separated by physical methods. Elements, compound is made up of two or more elements, but we can't separate the elements from the compound, from the compounds we can't separate different elements from the compound, because in the compound two or more elements is there. For example, iron cannot be separated from iron sulfide. Iron sulfide, in iron sulfide, iron is an element and sulfide is an element. Sulfide means sulfur. Sulfur, that is the symbol of sulfur is S. So we can't separate the iron from iron sulfide. And last one, energy is released or absorbed during the formation of compound. When a compound is formed from the elements, energy is released or they need energy. That means they absorb from the outside. They absorb energy for the formation of a compound. Like that, your compound topic is also finished. Okay, thank you.